Hi, this is Mike. Welcome back to Tesh Valley. Just a quick run session today. It's currently the 4th of July, about 9:15 Eastern Time. Um, my wife and my two daughters and I were up camping with the in-laws here over the past week up in Vassar, where I grabbed my Yingling Black and Tan to have on the 4th here. Got back last night about 9 o'clock. And my son let us know that the storms that went through Warren here knocked out our power at about 6:30. Logged into the DTE Energy app, and they said, "Oh, you'll have power back Monday by 11 p.m." So, needless to say, I was not looking forward to that. At least the camper has air conditioning, but the camper's 2 hours north of here. So we sweated it out last night. None of us got much sleep. Trying to keep the four axolotls oxygenated with their water. Try to keep the dog from panting, giving her lots of water. And then we have a new addition to the family. My son has about a 4-foot long ball python, so we're trying to keep that warm. But luckily it was hot outside, so that was the least of our problems. Power came back on this afternoon about almost 24 hours later, about 6 o'clock again this afternoon. So didn't think I'd be able to get this run session in. You'll notice there's one thing missing from the new items featured on the layout today. The Detroit and Lima Northern steam locomotive. I was able to record a couple short videos with that and was going through the app, turning on whistle steam and a couple other things, and it just stopped. Got halfway around the loop on the back corner and just stopped. Nothing I did in the app, nothing would work. So between camping and now this next weekend we'll be going to Indianapolis for cheer competition and everything else going on. Charlie and the guys over at the Detroit Three Wheelers say they're going to take a look at it, see if they can find out what happened. I didn't have that many boxcars behind it. I don't know if I put too much smoke fluid in, but it wasn't smoking at all when I got it. I just put a couple drops in it and did the normal, blow it on the smokestack to get that moving. And then once I turned on a couple features in the app, it was dead in the water. So the only new items you'll see today, I think we've already featured the State of Maine boxcar. Every O-gauge layout has to have at least one of those, so I got that. I think that was on the last video. Corey T 1976 on YouTube. Showed a video from NASA Hobby. They did a couple custom runs. A lot of those brand names I wasn't familiar with, being here in the Midwest, Michigan, Wisconsin, Illinois, all my life. But the one item, it was a Long Island Railroad flat car with the Arizona iced tea. And obviously I'm drinking gallons of Arizona iced tea over the years, so I thought that was kind of a cool car to try and add to my collection. So that's on the layout today. Trainz.com, Trainz with a Z. There was 3 or 4 different A&W rolling stock items. The covered hopper that I have here popped up here a couple weeks ago. I grabbed that as soon as I could. Luckily, it was not on Premier hold for the platinum or premium members to be able to grab that out from underneath me, but I was able to grab that. There's still an old tanker car that I'm hoping to get someday, and I think there was an old A&W boxcar on there as well, kind of like the old Werner's boxcar that I have, so I'd like to get maybe one more. And I think in my community I posted a picture of this covered hopper with Rudy, R-O-O-T-Y, the mascot for A&W Root Beer. I've had that stuffed bear since I was a baby, and I just turned 53, so you'll see my grandmother, who passed away back in the early 80s, actually stitched on some burgundy slippers on the bear. I don't know if you noticed that in the photo, but I've had that bear a long time, because A&W is definitely one of my favorite drinks, right up there with Werner's. So I'm glad to have the A&W root beer. Finally, the last 2 items of new rolling stock are the custom run Soo Line Waffle Red Door boxcars from Mr. Muffin's Trainz in Atlanta, Indiana. We are going to Indianapolis next weekend, but his layout is closed on Saturdays in July, so just my luck. Won't be able to stop in there and see it. I don't know. I don't think they're open any other day of the week, so looks like I'll have to maybe just plan a special trip down there one of these days. It's almost a halfway point between here and Indianapolis, so we're driving down to Indianapolis, I think on Sunday the 12th, And then my daughter competes. No, we're driving on Saturday, sorry. And then my daughter competes at like 7 o'clock at night on Sunday. So we're driving back here on Monday. Back to work on the after the 2-week shutdown for General Motors here. So got the two Soo Line Waffle Boxcars. I think the only Soo Line items. No, I take that back. There's 2 more custom runs that Mr. Muffin did with the blue doors. Those are the steel reefer cars. I guess they're called potato box cars because the blue doors signify it as a reefer car, and they use those to haul potatoes a lot. And then I don't know what's going on. It's been quite a while. Mr. Muffin is doing a custom run 8-car set of passenger cars in the Soo Line. So I had that my old Soo Line Mikado weathered. And that was specifically purchased to go with those passenger cars. So hopefully they'll be here this year. Everything else I have, I think, is RMT. 2 Copper Range boxcars from Pat's Trainz, an Escanaba and Lake Superior RMT boxcar from Pat's Trainz. And I think Metka is doing the MASH 4077 boxcar. I had to have that. Growing up, watching MASH was like the religion of my family. We watched that every week, so I had to. When I saw that was coming out, I think someone was walking through York, and they saw kind of a print off of that coming up from Metka. I definitely had to pre-order that one. So my pre-order list is shrinking. It's getting down there. I think I have 18 cars on the pre-order list right now. Try not to add any more, but when stuff like that MASH car popped up, or even this Arizona semi-trailer on this Long Island Railroad flat car pop up, there's certain things I just can't say no. So hope you enjoyed today's video. Happy 4th. I did leave the custom run from Stockyard Express, the ammunitions car, since the Menards 6-pack didn't have Army in it, so that's the Army represented. And then I have the 1776 illuminated flag box car bringing up the trailer, the tailing end of the inner loop. So that's today's video. Thanks for watching, and until next time, this is Mike.
South via the Chief Wawata Double Express, train number 1.
Next station, Stroping. We're surrounded. We're completely surrounded.